So today's video is going to be a little different. It's not motorsport related, but it is a repair. And this one was driving me nuts. We were getting the leak detection code, which I believe is an LC code. And I'm going to show you why. I already have it pulled down. Let's see what was actually leaking. This motor is in the bottom of your dishwasher, and this runs your main pump. That sprays the water through the dishwasher. You see here there's a lot of corrosion and rust, and that is your shaft seal going into the dishwasher. Bearing obviously rusted, completely worn out, and when I got it to spin over, when I did a force run, it was grinding like crazy. So, pulled it apart. Both of the springs here had fallen out of the seal, and the seal was ripped internally. The seal is underneath all of these plastic covers, which they come out very easily. I'm not going to show that. Whoops. It goes here. This is your top cover. Okay. And I'll show you where this piece falls in right here. Okay, that's going to be your last cover to get to. The seal goes right here. To pop that seal out, put a flathead screwdriver in there and literally just pry it right out. Very, very simple. So I got on Amazon. I found the seal, about $17, maybe $20 if I can't remember. Bearings were about $7 to $8, so about $25-ish dollars. This is your repair for your leaking dishwasher, okay? Don't unplug the sensor, don't move it somewhere else, because the moisture is coming through the shaft seal, which will eventually flood your kitchen. Don't just disconnect the sensor that's there to save your flooring. That makes no sense. Now, with this project, getting the bearings off of this actual armature is going to be kind of a pain, but we're going to figure out a way to get it off with just simple home tools. I have a full functioning shop. I have pullers and all kind of things that, I mean, maybe I have to use, but I'm going to try some simple hand tools. Soldering iron first to heat up the inner race. We're going to polish that shaft clean, and hopefully if I get some heat, that inner race can expand, and then maybe with an open end wrench and a hammer, I can tap this bearing right off the shaft. Same with this one. Now that's going to be easier. It's very short. This one might be a pain, but we're going to see what we can do here. Let's get these new bearings on, and then we will start the assembly of this dishwasher. Now it's important to realize this bearing is pressed to a certain length on the shaft. Before you take it off, you need to measure it, and my measurement comes down right at 1 inch and 5/16. Okay, there's a quarter, 5/16. You need to remember that, because if you press the new bearing on too far or not far enough, it will bind or rattle within the motor. So remember that measurement and make sure you measure your specific motor to make sure it is accurate for you. That's just what mine is. I'm assuming they're all the same, but sometimes the motors can change, so make sure you take that measurement first. Okay, this is gonna be our first attempt, and what we're gonna do is just literally try to heat up that inner race, which will expand it, and then we'll use that open end wrench right there and a hammer and tap it off. That is the goal, so let's see what happens. Things have escalated, not gonna lie to you. You had to use a slide hammer, but the bearing is off, and look at that, there's actually a C-clip right there for your spacing. That's what I was worried about. So your spacing's good. To get this off with your basic home tools, that was my torch. And all I did was literally hold it over one of these burners right here. I just rotated and got the inner race hot. Yes, I did have to break the outer race off, but the bearings are case hardened, so they're very brittle. Grab the vice grip and just crack the outer race right off. Then grab the inner race, get it heated up, and then I took a wet paper towel, very wet, and I cooled down the shaft itself. In that way, I could still keep the heat, which was expanded the inner race, to get it off of the shaft. Even with that, the slide hammer, it did take a few hits to get it. So hopefully this little sucker comes off a lot easier. Technically, this bearing is still perfect. But since we're in here, let's replace both. Nope, she's stuck. Let's get that bearing heated up. So I got it off, but let's just say it took some heat to get that bearing to get off of the slide hammer. Just buy yourself a small bearing puller. They're really inexpensive. I will find one and add it to the link in the description, as well as a slide hammer, because technically this tool has saved my butt a dozen times. So if you have some basic knowledge, you can get them off, but a bearing puller, my God, it'd make it a lot easier. So just get the bearing puller. Now moving on to the new bearings. Pleasantly surprised that a completely clean bearing slips right on. Both sides. I mean, beautiful. So once you get them off, which is a pain, the new ones go right on. It's good to know. Let's get this armature back in the motor, and we'll start reassembling everything right now. Quick note, this Phillips head for the impeller is reverse thread. It's hard to see. There you go, reverse thread. So you're taking it off, just remember it's opposite. Get some cushion, put it on its side. Now as far as the motor goes, you see right here, you're just gonna put it right on in, just like so. And your ground wire goes right there. You have 4 Phillips screws, one each corner, to screw it in. Now, you notice I did not put the seal in yet because you're gonna try to self-center it like this, and all that motion, you can push a seal through. So, let's get this motor mounted, and then we're gonna tilt it back up, put the seal in. Okay, that's your connection for your motor. That is the connection for your sensor, which we're not putting in yet. And then back there, I believe is the capacitor. You just have 2 push-on wires for that, very simple. Now we can put our cover on with the water detection sensor. Remember, it's this plug right here. And literally, it snaps in, and then 1 screw right there. Very simple. Time for the seal. Let's take one close look before we install. This is the old one, very clearly failed. Top and bottom. Now, if your bearings are quiet, okay, just replace the seal. You can get away without doing all the bearing pulling and everything. This motor was grinding, but I feel like most people's motor are gonna have some rough sound because once the water does leak, it is leaking through the bearing, which is washing it clean with detergent. So a quick fix would be just the seal. So you could try that. Let's get this installed. Okay, you can see right here, they already put grease in it, which is great. So when you put it over the shaft, you can just gently work it on, and little by little, push it down. It's gonna require 2 hands, but you'll get the concept. So that seal really needs to be tapped down with a socket. Now it's a 13/16, and it's really just a spark plug socket, so it's pretty common size in anyone's toolkit. But working it by hand is really not the way you want to do it. I could feel that it really needs to be pressed down into this lip, pretty much flush. That's how it came out, and that's how you want to put it back in. Okay, before we can install the pump housing, put the blade on, and there is a U stamped right there, faces up. Then you put your pump housing, the impeller blade, and your reverse thread screw. Now that you have that installed, you can put your top cover on. There's the bottom. You can see the cutout where the pump housing seals. That goes on. You slip this underneath. So you can do it with one hand. Well, you get the general idea, because you gotta twist this put that in and then twist. So it's gonna take 2 hands, but then all your hardware can install on top. And that's what it should look like when it's fully installed. Now we take our pump housing. You see right here, that's the bottom of it. It seals right on top, and all of your hardware is gonna go in to seal that pump up. Spoke a little too soon, all of your hardware goes through your filter cover, which has all the screw holes exposed. All the Phillips heads are installed, and then you have 2 more for your spinner. All right, we did a rinse only cycle, and it has been running for, let's say, about 4 minutes continuously right now. No issues, dead quiet, new bearings are nice and smooth. And that was the culprit, a $17 seal. So if you were getting an LC code right here, or if you have any water leaks, or it won't run, or it won't cycle, or just all the above, or if it runs rough and sounds like an old drill motor, take it apart, fix it, don't throw it away. You can repair this, I promise you. Especially it's just one little seal. So if this video helps, please smash that like button. I could not find anyone who did this, and I don't know why, because it was a very simple fix. Saved everybody a lot of money. A lot of things on YouTube, they are not giving it thumbs up or thumbs down, so now you only see thumbs up. So I thought the video was great and helpful. Please smash the like button, and I'll see y'all next time.